have some respect. It's not going to take...
Gentlelady is recognized.
I asked why they were not called from the parliamentarian, please.
Delegates-elect and the resident commissioner-elect are not qualified to vote. Representatives-elect are the only individuals qualified to vote in the election of a speaker. As provided in Section 36 of the House Rules and Manual, the speaker is elected by a majority of the members-elect voting by surname.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This body and this nation has a territories and a colonies problem. What was supposed to be temporary has now effectively become permanent. We must do something about this problem so that these 4 million... But I have a voice. And
So by now, you probably know the news that Mike Johnson was reelected as the Republican Speaker of the House today. And I addressed it, gave my full thoughts on that in the last video. So really, no need to go down that same old road again. It's time to move forward. But what I will say is this: whether you are a big fan of Mike Johnson or you can't stand the guy, we can all unite in saying that the Democrats objectively did not get what they wanted today for basically one of 3 reasons. The first thing, and they were pulling a lot of stunts to try to get this to happen, but the first thing they were hoping for was that Mike Johnson would not get the votes and this thing would drag on for several days or weeks like it did the last time. And basically the Democrats were going to be able to sit there the whole time and say, haha, the Republican Party is so chaotic, they're unstable, they can't even choose a new speaker, they don't know how to govern. And obviously, as you know, that is not true, because in the end, Mike Johnson won that vote on the first round. But the second thing they were really hoping for is that if Johnson was not able to get to votes, he was going to try to make a backdoor deal with the Democrats to win some of those votes. And of course, they would love nothing more than our Republican speaker groveling to their party to get that speakership role. And that didn't happen. And number 3, probably what they were the most wish casting for, is that amidst all of the chaos, enough Republicans abstain that somehow, right, Hakeem Jeffries ends up being Speaker of the House. And again, that did not happen. So that's how the day started, right? The Democrats were smirking, they were smug, they were laughing at us. And this is how it ended for Democrats and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Take a listen.
2 months ago, the American people elected Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America.
That's right, we did. You love to see it, folks. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you do us a big favor. Hit that like button down below and subscribe if you are new. You subscribing is the best way to ensure we can keep bringing you these videos. And with that said, so you heard that right there. That's Hakeem Jeffries having to admit, yeah, Trump won the election. The whole Republican caucus stands up and is cheering. It's pretty funny. You love to see it. And that is exactly when the cope ensues from Hakeem Jeffries, because take a listen to what he has to say next.
Thank you for that very generous applause. It's okay. There are no election deniers on our side of the aisle. You see?
There are no election deniers on our side of the aisle. Meanwhile, in reality, we have Hakeem Jeffries here in 2018 saying, the more we learn about the 2016 election, the more illegitimate it becomes. America deserves to know whether we have a fake president in the Oval Office. So, you know, the Democrats, obviously, we know, right? They were the original election deniers, all that. But I think the most ironic part is that Hakeem Jeffries himself was one of the biggest election deniers back in the Trump years the entire time. Okay, so with that said, right, they were hoping that Republicans would humiliate themselves today, only for Democrats to utterly humiliate themselves. And this is not even the best example of it that we've shown you so far. I think this right here really tells the story. Okay, again, the optics were supposed to be bad for Republicans. Now they're really bad for Democrats. Now Democrats are making a fool out of themselves. And there's no better example than this right here. Okay, so this is from the U.S. congressional representative from the Virgin Islands, which is obviously a U.S. territory, not a state. And basically, these territories are allowed to vote for someone to send to Congress, but basically that Congress member is not allowed to vote. You probably know how that works, but if not, yeah, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam, they're allowed to send people to Congress. They're just not allowed to vote. And this representative, obviously a Democrat, proceeds to throw a massive tantrum and has to be lectured on the House rules as she tries to get up there and vote for Hakeem Jeffries, only to find out that, yeah, you're not allowed to vote because you're not part of a state. Take a listen. It's so funny.
I have a parliamentary inquiry. I note that the names of the representatives from the Americas, Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and the District of Columbia were not called, representing collectively 4 million Americans. Mr. Speaker, collectively, the largest per capita of veterans in this country.
Does the gentlelady have a parliamentary
I
inquiry?
asked why they were not called. Have some respect. It's not going to take...
Gentlelady is recognized.
I asked why they were not called from the parliamentarian, please.
Delegates-elect and the resident commissioner-elect are not qualified to vote. Representatives-elect are the only individuals qualified to vote in the election of a speaker. As provided in Section 36 of the House Rules and Manual, the speaker is elected by a majority of the members-elect voting by surname.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This body and this nation has a territories and a colonies problem. What was supposed to be temporary has now effectively become permanent. We must do something about this problem so that these 4 million... But I have a voice, and...
Yeah, so remember, guys, these are the people who are saying that we do not know how to govern, right? We are not a serious party. Look, we can't even get along with ourselves. We don't know what we're doing. We don't understand or respect American democracy. And meanwhile, you have this idiotic Democrat. Actually, I shouldn't even say representative because that's technically, it's a delegate, right? A delegate they're allowed to send from the U.S. Virgin Islands who is not able to vote for obvious reasons and is out there trying to be like, oh, why aren't we allowed to vote? Trying to do this ridiculous stunt. It hilariously falls flat on its face. She gets booed, by the Republican caucus. You love to see it. She has to be reality checked on. Yeah, that's kind of how the rules work. That's how the laws work. You're not a state. You're not allowed to vote. And, just pretty hilarious. Now, I think that clip right there, guys, fully summarizes how this day went for Democrats. You have a ridiculous failed stunt, and that's what they try to do, right? That's what they try to do with Hakeem Jeffries. They were hoping there'd be an angle again to make a compromise deal with Mike Johnson, or better yet, somehow force Hakeem Jeffries to become the House Speaker amidst all of the chaos. And guys, you failed. You failed, okay? So whatever you guys think of Mike Johnson, we have our criticisms. We're not super happy about him necessarily. At least we can all take solace in the fact that people like this, people like Hakeem Jeffries, people like this U.S. Virgin Islands delegate got humbled today. And again, can we all unite on that at least? Okay, with that said, though, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.